1,500 square foot home. But you know what? We lived as family. And man, it's been one of the coolest things. And now that I've started this ministry in this area, I'm actually having Sean lead it rather than myself. And he's got an apartment now, a job now, car, and being a great dad. And man, he understands the streets way better than I do. And so I run everything by him. But see, this is what I'm talking about as far as discipleship and as far as living life together. It doesn't mean you get together for Bible study for an hour a week. And in fact, a lot of my mentality, again, changed back in the days when I was at the big church, because there was this other guy that was from a gang, and some of you may have heard me tell the story before, but it was really impactful, because I baptized this guy, but a great guy, totally around the church. We loved this guy, but then after a while, he stopped coming to the church. And one of my friends says, "Hey, did you notice that guy Chris isn't here anymore?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy." And he says, "Well, I actually ran into him, and I asked him why he didn't come to church anymore." And his comment was, he goes, "I thought when I got baptized," he goes, "I thought it was going to be like when I joined my gang." He goes, "When I got jumped into my gang, they were around me 24/7. Like if anything happened to me, man, they were after the guy that did it to me. I finally had family." So he says, when I became a Christian and I got baptized, I thought it was going to be just like that, and that this was going to be a family. I didn't know that it was just going to be on Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights. And I thought, man, he is so right. That is so sad that the gangs are a better picture of family than the church is. And we all have our own little private lives, and we won't open that up to other people. But I'm telling you, I think the tide is changing, and I think there's young people who are reading the scriptures for themselves, looking at the way we've been doing church and going, that doesn't really match up. And they're looking for something different. And there's encouraging stories and people opening up their homes, their lives, and churches where people are starting to form, where they genuinely love each other. Last story, then I'm done. But I just recently heard, this just happened like a couple weeks ago. A friend of mine, one of the first guys I baptized like 20 years ago, okay? He was in church, my old church, and there was a guy in our church, John, who's blind, diabetes, and his wife just died, and so he had to go to the doctor to get dialysis because his kidneys don't work. And so they needed a volunteer to take this guy to dialysis at 5 in the morning. And so my friend signs up and says, I'm not doing anything at 5 in the morning, I'll take him. And so he takes this guy, first time meeting him, okay, older guy, first time meeting him, takes him dialysis, they get lost, they don't know what room to go to, the blind guy can't help him, and he takes him to the wrong place, he's having discussions with him, and knows this guy's a true brother, and starts talking, and as he's getting dialysis, he finds out that this guy's blood type is the same as his, and realize he's never going to get a kidney. He's got it on his list for years, he'll probably die before that. And looks at the guy and just says, John, I feel like God wants me to give you my kidney. And, here's a guy, he's younger than me, he's got his own family, he's got his kids, here's an older man. And what possesses you to give your kidney to someone else, one of your kidneys? And he just had the operation about 3 weeks ago. And see, that's supernatural. Okay, that's something where an unbeliever would walk in and go, what? What did that guy do? He gave his kidney to that guy? But the worst thing he's told me is, he goes, people in the church are questioning my decision. People in the church are going, why did you do that? You know how dangerous it is? You've got your own family. It's always the people in the church that have the most opposition towards the things that are most biblical. And it drives me crazy. And, as people say, why would you do that? In the church, unbelievers look at it, they're shocked, but they get it. And he just tells people, he goes, well, Jesus said if you got 2 coats and the other guy doesn't have one, give him one. You know, it's just in his mind. He goes, isn't this what I would do for family? And I'm telling you, if we would start living this way, if we had a place where there was that much love, I think a lot of these other issues would fall by the wayside. And I'm hoping that as you guys are starting your lives, and your independent lives, I should say, that you start thinking to yourself, what is biblical? What is the right way to do this? What was Jesus' model? How did he walk? And how did that early church attract so many people? And I think it really is because of their testimony and the way that they lived. So, that's it.